So there's two things going on, and it's sort of like why Jesus died. Jesus wasn't exactly strong enough because he died. Came back to life, but he still died. And somebody killed him. And Jesus attracted that. You know, he attracted people wanting to kill him. Why? Because he wasn't able to explain what he was trying to explain in a way that didn't offend everybody to want to kill him. So Jesus is going out there and holding all of humanity responsible for their actions, just like I would be. Is I'm going to tell you something that you don't want to hear, and you're going to come at me with a lot of anger and hate, and I'm telling you that level of anger and hate towards me will want me to die. But yet, if Jesus took responsibility, like I must take responsibility and learn that, hey, Jesus didn't know how to communicate too well. Jesus, had a really, really good message, but, the way he was communicating was just pissing everybody off to the point where they wanted to kill him. I'm in the same boat. I'm saying something that clearly is going to go against everything you believe to be true. And if people want to hate me for it, then it's because of me. I don't know how to communicate effectively, so it's not offensive. It's where I'm headed. It's where I want to go. I would like to be able to talk about the truth and not have it be offending at all. Um, so that's my lesson to learn. But to get back on this, when I always was trying to focus because I was constantly so severely stressed, um, there's zero. I've been saying that you access good information when you're loving and peaceful. So my way of survival, because I was even just in survival mode, I was not accessing good information because I wasn't peaceful and loving. I was really stressed. I was angry. There's so many things going on. But anytime that I tried to um, ask for information, what I would do is constantly look at what is my intention. And my intention is to always do what was right for my kids. And as long as my kids had a smile on their face, it was in their best interest, it was to make their lives happy and healthy, then I know that I'm not doing anything out of revenge. I'm not doing anything to get even. So that was the theory that I was using, is intention, where we're, living with intention. But I was still wrong. I still accessed wrong information and did exactly what this girl is doing now. She's seeing everything wrong about her ex, just like I seen everything wrong about my ex. And um, I also had this, a lot of people that I worked with that were really kind of abusive in the first place. Um, they would always have these big bad stories about, oh well, when my divorce was, and everybody had a horror story of abuse. And this one particular girl who's the craziest, like, I mean, the most hateful person I have met. She, I think, had 5 kids. And she would always say that, give stories of things that her ex used to do, and she was the only one feeding her kids, and she had to work a whole pile of different jobs just to feed these kids. And like, she was doing the one all the work and was constantly saying bad things about her ex, but would constantly tell me, to never say anything bad about my children's father to the children, because that's not healthy. And I thought, do I want my kids to know what good behavior is and what bad behavior is? Anytime that I seen their father have a bad behavior, I did not want to come across as I was in agreement with that, because that is the wrong thing to do. You do not live your life that way. It's not responsible or accountable. So, like, I felt like I was having the best intentions with my kids to teach them what healthy behavior looks like. And so while I was doing that, I was saying negative things about my ex. I am still saying negative things about my ex. He didn't pay his freaking child support. He didn't, you know, he. There's so many things that this guy was doing, and every time he did it, I would point it out, and I'm still pointing it out all the time. So I'm still repeating the same mistakes that I made back then, and I'm doing it as a process so you can see where I'm coming from, that okay, this is what was going on, but it was wrong, and what I'm doing is still wrong, and I'm telling you that okay, I'm not in a healthy state yet and I'm still smoking. So um, there's all of the signs that are saying you're not exactly doing anything right. I don't know what the right thing is yet. I haven't gotten that how do you communicate this? I'm still working on that, so I'm in the process of it. So it's like you got to live through it. You got to live through the mistake so that hopefully somebody can point out where you're going wrong and maybe correct it. So that's in the bigger picture. That's what I'm doing with this video today, is I'm putting it out there. So this guy that's helping me with tracking will, maybe ask me the right questions that will make me see my own insanity, because I'm obviously seeing an awful lot, but not enough. Not enough to stop it, not enough to change it, not enough to make me not want to smoke. Um, so I am still doing the same thing that I'm saying is the wrong thing to do. But to get to the meat of this girl wants to go into mediation and get full custody of her son. She's calling her ex a very abusive. She's seeing her son is in the most unhealthy environment, and she needs to save her son from living in this abusive environment that her son is living in. And it's like, as a mother, I love kids. Like, my heart would go out to her. Um, if anything, I would have more compassion for what she's living through, because I lived that. But I'm seeing her make the same mistakes as I made, and I'm like, are you sure you want to do that? Because I did that, and that's going to create a living friggin' hell. And the word she's describing is like, her ex says, no, my son is my life. He's my everything. And what she wants to do is take away this guy's everything. And she's calling him very abusive at the same time. So, is that not going to get the bear a little angry? If he's really, really abusive and you take away the thing that's the most important to him, do you think he's going to come at you fighting? Are you not asking for abuse by, taking away the one thing that this guy loves the most? So, sorry, right there, you're asking for abuse by taking this child out of this man's everything. It's like, game on. You know the fight has just begun just because you want to take something away. Where I think there's a healthier way of doing things. Now, this girl also, when I was trying to ask questions about it, I was, going with her story, um, trying to find out where he makes his income from, and is it a child support issue, because child support tends to be one of the main motivators of, no, that child should live with me, no, that child should live with me. And women, for the most part, play the child support game a little way too much, and I never was like that. I went to school. I think the bigness of my actions prove where my mindset was at. I would not have left that marriage and went into programming if I mean, that was the first job I was offering me if I could do it in 1 year of training, and then I was promised 100,000 a year. I would not need any money from this man. I actually even offered him, you just give me support while I'm in school, and then when, once I get started in my career, you don't have to pay me a dime. And that is in one. My ex even wrote up legal documents for me to sign. The only thing is he wanted to make me responsible for every freaking debt at the same time, and wipe away all support at the same time. Everything that I was asking him to be supportive of, he was putting all that pressure on me. And it's like, oh, you want everything. I was offering you never to have to pay one dime of child support if you were just responsible according to the laws for the time it took me to finish school and get kickstart a career. But he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be non-supporting um, throughout that, and at the same time, I'm going to be signing this document. I was even the one that was responsible for his income tax. In the document that he was making, he wanted me to be financially responsible for all of his income tax. I was like, I can't do that. I can't take on all of your debt that you created while we were married and support all of the kids, and like, it was just insane. But anyways, my actions should prove that I put it out there. I was making all of the attempts to try and make things. I did not want my ex for his money, and I tried to prove that in just going in a direction where I can support myself. um but this girl ended up telling me that, like, because I asked her if she was paying child support, and she said no. um, she did say she's supporting him in her way, but no, let's face it. You are financially responsible for a child. If this guy had money, um, your share of the money to feed him, this kid wouldn't, if you're saying that he's not getting enough food, well, maybe it's because you're not paying your share. So this man, in the economy that we're in right now, is doing his friggin' best to feed his kids with the amount of food he can afford to feed, with you not even, paying your share. He's paying both shares. Which is the position that I was at. My ex never paid any support. I was paying the father's responsibility and the mother's responsibility because they were fed all of the time. Meanwhile, I had an ex that says, I'm not going to pay her any money because she won't spend it on the kids. That same mentality that my ex was accusing me of is what this girl is accusing her supposed abuser. Um, and she's saying that he's sleeping on the couch all day and he's doing this and everybody's against him. And it's like, isn't that funny? My ex did the same thing. He made up a whole pile of stories about how big and bad I was, and everybody believed him. So it's like, this girl can come and tell me how big and bad this guy is, but all you are is a person that has nothing nice to say about somebody else. All you're looking for, you're trying to find things wrong. And by you trying to work so hard, you're actually creating it. You want to call somebody stupid, they will turn into stupid. You want to call somebody lazy, they'll turn into lazy. So whatever this father is acting like during, extreme stress, this woman has zero compassion. She's actually trying to increase his stress level instead of decrease it. And then she also told me that, well, her one mistake was abandoning her son. And so it's like, okay, here's a mother that abandoned her child. She wants to say that she's going for full custody because the father is so abusive. So if he was so abusive, why would you leave a child in his care? Why would you abandon a child in an abusive man's home? Clearly, he wasn't so abusive to you. But then you're not paying your freaking child support. So that probably is weighing on your subconscious mind that, oh, you don't have to pay child support. And then she's telling me, well, my son really wants to live with me. Well, you know what? My daughter said the same thing. If you bribe the kid enough and you paint such a really good picture that, oh, life is so much better if you live with me, what's the child going to do? You're manipulating him. So, that is a really, really hard pill. I'm going to continue.